Today we're going to analyze how women classify you. I had an interesting interaction today in the morning with a lady at the gym, and I found out that always is good to target the women that classify you in the big dick category. We're going to check 4 buckets. Usually, as soon as a woman sees you the first impression, they will allocate you in one of these buckets. If you have curiosity, I'm going to tell you. The first bucket is the nasty bucket. It's like the no thanks. It's that bucket that when you're getting close to the woman, her face starts to change. It's like someone fart next to her. That's more or less how she looks when you approach. If that is her face expression, that means that you are in the nasty bucket. What places you in the nasty bucket? Sometimes it's that you are just ugly as fuck. Not just ugly, you have to be very, very ugly to be in the nasty bucket. Sometimes also could be that a lot of men are not taking a shower. Sometimes they go out and they don't care. They think nobody can smell them. And that is also like a no-no for women. And also could be because they saw you following other women's ass, you know? So if you're looking ass, as we call it in Spanish, looking culos, if you're watching or following ass all the time, now you look like a sexual harasser. So that's why they try to, that's a no-no. If you after, for example, you're at the gym, and there is a lady walking with a big butt, you are following the butt, and then you check, and the other woman is looking at you, you are already discarded from her dating pool. So that is the nasty bucket. Now, interesting enough, sometimes you can fall into the nasty bucket without doing something bad. For example, if you are trying to open conversation with women at the gym, if you are like me, for example, you are 37 years old, and you try to go to the fresh meat, right? Perhaps I'm talking a lady that are 18 or 20 years old. They are going to classify you immediately in the nasty bucket if you try to go with too much strange. Why? Because there's a high chance that other guys that are more or less your age did it before. So if you are like my age and you want to approach to young women, the best play that you can handle is just talk with everybody, be cool. Then when they realize that you are not in a rush, that you are not desperate, you have a higher chance to score with these women. But remember, if you see that when you approach to a woman, her face turns like this, there's a high chance that you are in the nasty bucket, and that is a no-no. Let's check fast the other 3 buckets. I only have 10 minutes, so we'll rush in the next one. The next one. And by the way, why is important to understand this? This is like a very simple concept, but important. Because I have seen a lot of guys trying to scale from nasty or from invisible, that is next bucket, to date the woman. And that is not the best approach. Usually, you want to target the woman that gives you a better bucket, and we will see that later. And also, as always, understand that there are nice women that will give you better points than ugly women. Most time, ugly women are the most picky ones. So, if I don't want to expand too much, we don't have that much time. But what happens is that many times ugly women, guys only use them for pussy pocket, just for having sex. So they are already pissed off. They have a lot of trauma from other guys. So you appear again with your face, and you think, I'm going to be good with you. No, now they don't trust. So that's why try to target the women. Always I suggest guys to target women that look, depends your taste, right? But try to target women that scare other guys. When a man feels scared when they see a woman, usually that's the one that you should target because tends to be the best option that you can go for. But baby steps. Okay. So the first bucket is the no bucket. The please, no thanks. You scare me. The second bucket is the invisible bucket. What is that? Is that bucket that women put all the guys that they don't care, So it's like sometimes you see guys trying to approach to other women and they're like, no. They go to the gym. Hey, how many sets do you have? 3 sets, 4 sets. They don't offer the guy to share the machine. That is the invisible bucket. Most guys fall into this bucket. How else do you know if she rates you in that bucket is if you try to get the contact of the woman and she sends you, here's my Instagram. That is also the invisible bucket. I can tell you, I have many friends. I heard some rumors that they are what we call the pingones. When the pingol asks the contact of the woman, she always gives the WhatsApp here in Latin America. Always give the WhatsApp when the woman likes the guy. No, this woman never gives the WhatsApp. That's a lie. When the woman likes the guy, she will give the WhatsApp. The Instagram is just for someone that, I don't care. Or she want like a free promotion. She knows that she will give that Instagram account to this guy that she doesn't care, and the guy will promote her image and her account with other people. So it's just to gain followers. So if you try to get the contact of a woman and she sends you directly to the Instagram, that means that you are invisible for her. Can you scale that up? Yeah, perhaps, but it's going to take a while. So I would prefer to wait to the next bucket. I like how this topic is flowing. The next bucket is the could be bucket. Still not the pingon bucket, but you have better odds here. The could be bucket is the woman that, yeah, she kind of give you the WhatsApp, she like you, she go on a date with you, but not necessarily she will give you sex. Sometimes she just see you as resources, free meals, money, free websites sometimes. So now, if you are good, if you know how to negotiate, I always talk this with my people, if you know how to negotiate your resources, you can get sex in exchange for that, nothing wrong. But let's be clear, most guys, they give away too much. It's equivalent of a woman trying to like just blow jobbing a guy, like giving a blow job as soon as she meet the guy without trying to know if the guy is interested in her. So the same thing is a guy who goes on a date with a woman and spend on the first date 200 or 300 soles. So be careful. How do you know if you are in the could be bucket? This is a good question. First, always the woman is busy, like she's gonna date you, but she always brings stories. Like I heard this phrase from Rich Cooper. She makes more stories than Disney, and it's true. Like if the woman gave you the cell phone number, you have her WhatsApp, but you're trying to land this date with her, and somehow she's always busy, means that you are in the could be bucket. You still got the cell phone, so she's still okay. She considers you, but you are not in her priority list. You are just very very low in her list, in her count list. You'll be surprised, but if you are like me and you go to the gym, you will see that between sets, women are always scrolling their WhatsApp, and you see that there are plenty of guys that are there just waiting. So there are guys that they will reply to them when she has shit to do. When she has like nothing to do, she will go to reply those guys. And sometimes you are in that bucket. Today on my Facebook, Uncle Balta is a grandpa that I still have a Facebook. I upload a meme about this. Like the guy say, oh, she doesn't reply. She must be busy. Oh, maybe she forgot to activate her notification. Oh, maybe she lost the battery. Or maybe she went to sleep early. So that's true, like guys always want to tell lies to themselves. It's not that the woman doesn't like them. Something must be happening. Oh, poor woman, she's busy. She's busy doing the dicks carousel. Well, let's go now to the pingon, the big dick bucket. The big dick bucket is the one that, everything is a yes. It's anal sex, please, all the time. And many women will disagree. Oh, that's not her. But I can tell you, most women, they have the right guy will open any legs. And as I told you before, I have friends that are pingones. I heard rumors about that. And sometimes it's incredible. Like the woman can be dating other guy. She's with the other guy in the restaurant. And during the date, she goes to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, she's texting with the man. Why do you think sometimes women takes a while when they are in the bathroom? It's not just because they are making up, doing their makeup again, or checking their face, or taking some pictures. It's because like during the meal, sometimes they go to the bathroom to text with the pingon and schedule an appointment after your date. So you finish dating her, you spend your 200 soles, 300 soles, you take her back to the house, and after 20 minutes, the pingon is arriving to take her out, perhaps in the motorcycle, in the sport car, and directly to the hotel. It's sad, but it's true. Now, the question, before we wrap and we go to, I will do like a second wisdom nugget fast. The question is, how can you improve your odds with women, right? Because it's not like if you are in the could be bucket, you will never be able to go to the pingon bucket, or at least get closer to the pingon bucket. But I would say nowadays it's easy. The only thing that you need to master first is how comfortable do you feel when you are interacting with a woman. As we know, confidence is a big asset that you can handle. It's a strength that you can show to women. So how do you show that you are confident? By just talking with her in the same way that you talk with other people. For that same reason, I always recommend try to open conversation with everybody. Wherever you go, always be cool with everybody, because in that way the woman realizes that you are sociable. You have a this is an interesting question, perhaps maybe for another podcast we will analyze. But why, when you have social skills, women will give you more points? I guess it's because social skills equal networking, and networking equals success. So the way that you communicate with other people is going somehow to show how successful you are in life. And also another thing is how good you speak. If you speak like you're trying to speak like a minion or like a smart como un pitufo, she will get that you are nervous, But if you speak comfortable, in her mind, she will say, okay, this guy have a lot of he has a lot of other women in his life. That's why he's not nervous now, and also he has something important. That's why he's very comfortable. So you need to always pay attention. It's the way you interact with the woman, how confident you look interacting with other people, and always understanding that if you have value, you shouldn't be desperate. Only the people that don't have value are the desperate ones. So, little tip. And before wrapping this podcast, something fast to close. I was checking in the one and only Dr. Orion, and he dropped 3 reasons why you shouldn't spend that much money when you date a woman in the first date. But before, as always, if you want to join the community, Baltanet, más 51 9890 23986, if you want to join the Latino English community, Baltanet. I was going to record this episode in Spanish, but I just recorded my previous episode on Sunday, so I need to have a Spanish break too. So let's go fast with the 3 reasons why you shouldn't spend that much money when you date a woman. The first is that when you give something to a woman, you cannot take it back. So if you go on the fair in the first date and you offer her like a nice meal, you spend 200 soles, 300 soles, now she expects always that you are going to do the same. Some people say, no, that's the first date. No, if you decrease that, now she's going to be upset. Perhaps in the second date, if you decrease, you don't go to a fancy restaurant, she's not going to tell you that immediately. But after 3 or 4 weeks, now she will complain. So that's why you always want to start spending as little as possible. That's the first reason, because you cannot take it back once that you spend money. The second is that he makes an interesting comparison with a job. So why companies pay their employees after the month, at the end of the month, and not at the beginning? Because if they pay at the beginning, people will not work. People just will quit. I'm out. The same happens with women. If you give everything at the beginning, what is the incentive for them to keep longer in the relationship? If they see that there's no more potential, they're going to go away. There's no such a thing as gratitude, not just with women, with everybody, People don't stay with you because you are going to offer more value, not because you offer value in the past. They will stay with you because you have value to offer in the future, because you have potential. So it's important, this. A lot of guys take women, they buy airplane tickets, they go to Brazil, to other countries with the woman, sometimes too fast in the first month, and then when they realize, they don't have more money to buy another airplane ticket, now the woman disappears. So remember, nobody stays for gratitude. People only stay because there is potential to grow. And the last but not least is that when you don't spend that much money, it's easy to identify who are the people that really like you and who are the people that are just there for resources. Now, as I mentioned before, nothing wrong to be the guy who offered the resources. I like to pay, honestly. I like to pay because it's less texting and all the thing. But the more that a woman likes you, the less you will spend money and resources with her. And just 2 extra Uncle Balta tips to wrap in 15 minutes. I have to run after this. Let's remember that your resources are more than just money. People just think about money. Also, your time is important. Your focus is important. So if you are always texting with a woman, what is the price of that? You are canceling a lot of projects. You are not having maybe this, wonderful idea that could came to your brain because you were distracted with the woman. So if a woman is always breaking your balls, that is also a cost. If when you date a woman, you have to spend a lot of time. I remember back then, I was in the university. Okay, I know it's spam, but I was dating a beautiful black woman with an ass like this. But I would spend with her a lot of time. And I remember sometimes she used to live like very, very far away from Pista Nueva. I would take her in my car. And all the process, whenever I date her, was like 9 hours in total. So 9 hours dating a woman twice a week is 18 hours. So in 18 hours, how much can you do? Of course, it doesn't mean that you're always going to be counting, oh, you are taking too much from my time. But what I'm saying is that the price of your powder, as I say in Spanish, el precio de tu polvo, you need to consider all the price, It's not just the money, it's also the time, the focus, the safety. By the way, sometimes I have been dating like cocaine addicts. Yeah, the woman can come to my house, but what is the how safe I am with the cocaine woman in my house? So all these costs you need to consider. And I know it's difficult, especially when you have your balls heavy. You say, no, I want to fuck everybody. Any woman is good for me, but no. We need to always select the best parties. There are plenty of women in this world, but we need to go with a cold head. Try to keep this head and the other head cold. That's today's podcast. I wanted to share that before I forget. As always, spread the word. Tell people to come to this Uncle Balta YouTube channel. And also, if you want to listen this wisdom without having to see my face, you can go to Spotify and you will find me with my nickname, Uncle Balta. Remember, if you want to contact me or join the community, +51 9890 23 986. Blessings.